good morning and welcome of morning to Morning Thailand of October 8th, 2013. I am Tulip Naksampol.
And I want to on Kira Hong.
And we'll start with the drug arrest news.
Well, unfortunately today, just to prepare yourself, this morning we don't have good news at all.
Yes, and we try
These are
our
all very
best.
bad news, right?
We're going to start with the big drug arrest yesterday. We heard so many ways that they tried to transfer drugs from along the border from the north of Thailand to the middle part of Thailand. This time, it's not by the boat. We heard about the boat before. It's not by the pickup truck. This time, it's in the tour bus, the public tour bus.
We heard of the tour bus before too. And that one was like the actual tour that they made. And the person that was actually organized the tour was the one that actually transferring all the drugs. So this one is probably more like a public.
This is a public bus.
Yeah.
The police said that the tour bus staff is actually has an in on it, and along with another two passengers. The police heard about these transferations and know that which bus they should stop. So they stopped the bus and they walked into the tour bus. And somehow I think the police kind of able to see which one is super suspicious than others. So police able to somehow asking these passengers to come down to the checkpoint and asking them to bring down their luggages. And somehow they said normally when police stop this tour bus, they will only search on the luggage room on the left side of the bus. But this time police know that they're gonna hide the drug on the right side of the bus. So they asked these passengers to take out their luggages and they just search it at the checkpoint out in the open in front of a lot of staff and also passenger itself. So what they found is 59 kilogram of heroin.
59.
That's a lot of.
Yeah.
That's like as much as a person weight.
Right.
And 218,000 of methamphetamine pills, which would have worth 345 million baht in the market. And the police believe that this is part of the Lieutenant Colonel Yise drug ring. And this is from Chiang Rai on the way to the delivery in Ang Thong.
So it's a brand name drugs.
Yes, this is the fourth time already.
Right.
They have been doing this the same way 3 times before, and I guess this is the first time they get caught. The bus belonged to Chok Rung Thavi Tour company between Bangkok and Mae Sai.
Right. Okay. Interesting. Most definitely. Now, of course, moving on to another news that actually did not turn out very well, Kuntulip. We know that it has been raining quite a bit, and we know traffic condition or road condition, obviously, you have to be a lot more careful because of the rain itself. Now, there has been a report of a quite gruesome car crash, I would say. A pickup truck crashed right into a tree. Now, it wouldn't have been that bad. However, obviously in Thailand, we don't have that strict of a law where you have to, all the passengers have to have seatbelt and such. So
how many people can
exactly.
be in the
So
car?
you pretty much jam a lot of people in. And this case is in Buriram province where this group of laborers actually on their way back to Laos. So as you can see there, you can't even tell at this point. The front part is just mangled quite badly. Now they say that when the police got to the place, now they say that they have found that there are a lot of bodies just scattered around. And this is one of the things that's quite frightening due to the fact that when they got there, about 14 people would died instantly at the scene. Now they say that this is at Buriram Satuk Road in Buriram province, excuse me. The driver Kun Chawalit Thawon Kha, age 24, died instantly at as well. However, the police found 1 methamphetamine pills in his pocket, along with a bottle of alcohol on the side. So they believe that he's probably falling asleep at the wheel at the time, so that caused this particular problem. However, there were about 20 people in the car at the time, 24 altogether, including the driver. There were 16 of the males and 8 of female. And they came from Samut Prakan, were heading to Ubon Ratchathani and hoping to get to Laos, as I have mentioned. They say that at the scene, they have found 15 died instantly at the scene, and the other 4 actually died at the hospital later on, and another 5 reportedly still in a very serious condition. So at this point, the police think that is probably because the driver drove really fast under drugs, as well as the fact that at this point they say that the road condition probably play parts into this as well. But as I have mentioned, when you jam about 24 people in a pickup truck, it's almost like no escape, because obviously none of them, apart from the driver, who probably did not have any seatbelt on either at the time. So at this point, this is one of the most scariest, I would have to say, of the car accident that we have seen this morning in the front page. And mind you, if you see in Thailand newspaper and you see the picture, it's quite gruesome. So, if you do not want to see pictures of corpse, just don't look at it at all, because it's quite clear. And that's one of the things that we have a problem here in Thailand, is we don't blur anything. We want to make sure that we give it to you, just right up front like that. Mm-hmm.
They just want to make sure that we know that those were dead.
Right. All right. Move on to another news.
Move on to another news. This one happened in Samut Prakan province, in Mueang district, Pak Nam sub-district. Mm-hmm. It's just because it happened at the 6-unit apartment building, mm-hmm. when one of the tenants knocked on the door of the landlord and didn't hear any response.
Oh, okay.
It's that time of the month that they have to pay for their rent, mm-hmm. and they kind of suspect something is odd, because they're also really strong order from mm-hmm. the room, so they call the police. Mm-hmm. So in the middle of the night of Sunday night, the police came to the apartment building, mm-hmm. and broke into the locked room of the landlord, and then they found Ju Yuraniyom, the 85-year-old landlord, passed away already. Mm. And there was electronic cord around her neck. So initial inspection, the police believe that she died because of this strangulation, or suffocation from the electronic cord. So the witness, one of the tenants, said that the last time she saw the landlord was October 4th, when she knocked on the door and paid for the rent, and the woman was still alive and well. Okay. And she told the police that there is this one suspect that she believed that might be the prime suspect, mm-hmm. which used to be the tenant at this building, and the landlord caught him stealing some of her properties, such as amulets and Thai silk. Like broke into her house and steal some of her stuff. So she
confronted him,
and also notified the police to charge him with robbery.
Right.
So they believe he's probably
got upset.
Yes, and he already moved out. But when the police went into the landlord room, mm-hmm. the window was broken. Also, mosquito net was broken. So the police believe that it's the most suspicious one, and he disappeared. So he's right now the prime suspect, and they believe he's probably the one responsible for her death.
Wow.
Yes, 85 years old landlord.
That is just sad. The thing is,
she just
and she's by herself. That's the problem too.
and she just did her job as a normal landlord.
I think there's a lot more robberies happen quite of late, so that's quite scary.
Bank robbery, gold shop robbery.
Exactly. So it's showing that a lot of people have money problem. All right, just giving you updates for this particular break. Yesterday, Kun Tulip report about the 17-year-old girl that was lured via Facebook, and obviously the man at this point, they already found him.
Oh, okay.
His name is Mana Lerth Laksa. Of course, yesterday he was at the hospital, right? He was hospitalized, but apparently he sneaked out during the night due to the fact that the hospital that he was in, there was flood going on. So the police that actually looked after his case, that was guarding the room at the time, had to go and help out. So of course, yesterday Kun Pawina Hongsakul, who is also the Social Development and Human Security Minister, came out and said that she will actually press this case to the fullest, make sure that the culprit Kun Mana will have to come in and be charged with whatever he has done. Now, at this point, the police said that they have already been able to find the culprit after he ran away. Now, he went to Tha Rua district of Kanchanaburi province. It was one of his friend's house. Now, they say that his particular background, he has more than 10 wives already at this point, 3 children. And they say that this is what the police think happened. Obviously, they're still investigating and they're still probing him. So the latest updates hasn't come out in terms of what happened. But the police believe that due to the fact that the autopsy showed that the girl's on her throat, inside of her throat, there's some burnt, due to the chemicals and such. So they believe that he probably gave her a little bit of one of those, the cleaners that he drank to try to kill himself as well. However, she obviously died from suffocation as well because he pressed his hands against her nose and her mouth because they probably raping was supposed to be involved, but he did not succeed. So and at the time, obviously, he was trying to kill himself as well, but his relative came in just before that, and then were able to take him to the Panatnikom hospital, which later he escaped from. And at this point, Kun Pawina said that this is one of the things that she wants to promote, is that for all the parents to be very, very careful and monitor your children very carefully and strictly, due to the fact that technology these days might be a little bit more advanced than the maturity of the children to match it. So obviously it's also have to rest upon the parents itself to take responsibility to this. And her mother, the victim's mother, along with her brother at this point, was quite devastated with the whole situation because obviously it was so sudden because they just met each other and then she left, and that was pretty much it. But yeah, so that was the update on this particular case.
Okay. That's kind of heavy.
Yeah, it is very heavy, but hey, it's a front page news.
Okay, we're gonna take a short break and we'll come back with more news about how the police try to curb the accident that happened with the motorcycle in Thailand.
And floods.
Always
floods. And apparently we have to brace for it. Bangkok, I think it is coming, so please stay tuned.